Hello and welcome everybody to the Sunday night webinar. Super excited to have everybody on. Shawn Poe. I am actually not in South Dakota today, but I've got very nice warm weather and enjoying the sun as we speak. We've got some new people on the call. We've got some people that have been in the company for quite a while. And I don't want to take a ton of time because we have an extraordinary guest tonight that I'm super excited for you all to meet. Michelle and I, we met Simon a couple years ago at an event, and just chatting with him and his industry knowledge and what he's seen and what he's done, we really wanted to get some insight from him just to share with you guys on what he sees, where everything's going, and some different aspects. So Simon is considered the Oprah of MLM. This guy really has interviewed hundreds of leaders within the network marketing industry, some of the top people, the top earners from various companies. I know that he's interviewed several people within Lifevantage as well. But what I really like about what Simon has to offer is he's not just talking the talk, he's also walked the walk. He's built himself a very successful network marketing company that he's since retired from, still receiving passive income on a distributor base of over 80,000 people. So Simon comes to the table with the experience and the expertise, but I wanted to pick his brain a little bit like he does to other network marketers on his show, MLM Nation. So with that, Simon, if you want to quickly update us on anything that I missed on your bio, we'd love that, and then we'll get started with a few questions.
Hey, thank you so much, Shawn and Michelle, for having me on. First of all, it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you for trusting to be able to share here with you all. I just want to, people call me the Oprah of MLM. I've talked to hundreds, I actually count over 500 plus conversations with top 6-7 figure earners. And, but all it comes to why I chose network marketing was really, no one recruited me, by the way. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad and realized I wanted to get out of the rat race. And then at that time, I thought about doing a franchise, doing different type of businesses. Was very skeptical. I heard about network marketing. The first time I heard about network marketing, I actually thought it was marketing computer networks. This is back in 2003. I was like, some people were like, don't like to do that. You have to talk to your friends about marketing computer networks. But anyway, I researched more. I read, network marketing for dummies, all type of books. And I was still skeptical. But then I also read a book called Purpose Driven Life. At that time, I was looking for purpose in my life. I'm a believer, and I felt that God's purpose for me was to have a positive impact as many lives as possible. And even though I was a very shy, quiet kid, I never thought I'd be speaking in front of 100 people. Back then, before network marketing, speaking in front of 3 people. If they weren't my friends, I'd be scared stiff. And that's your story. But my first training call I ever did was, like less than 10 people, 5 people showed up, and I was scared stiff. But I thought, I always enjoyed mentoring, coaching. I, used to coach kids in basketball. I led a youth group when I was in college. So I felt that was God's purpose. And believe it or not, I found a company, went Google, and just called a random person. Some website came up, say, hey, I want to join your company. How do I sign up? So that's how it started. But I love network marketing. So for 3 reasons. Number one, I believe network marketing fulfills our unlimited potential. Every one of you here, you have unlimited potential. Now, you may not believe it because you've been listening to the wrong people. You may not believe it because some teacher told you so, your parents told you so, a sibling told you so, or someone made fun of you when you were a little kid. You can't do this, you can't do that, or you're not that type of person. But we all can do amazing things. And this is the cool thing. I'm a perfect example. I talked about my first training call. 5 people showed up. All right. And by the way, I had a team of like 20 something, 5 people showed up. I speak very fast. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. So it's like, Brooklyn's like the hood, but I'm sheep. I'm not that mean itself, okay? But I am from New York. I speak fast. Especially in network marketing, I'm very passionate about it. So I'm very direct, and I have like a no BS approach. I come from my New York background. But I was shy and quiet, and I remember the first training call, it was a 30-minute training, and I finished in like 17 minutes. And afterwards, I said, hey, do you have any questions? It was like dead silence. Like, no questions. It was such a great training. And I still remember one of my friends, Anthony, says, Simon, I don't think anyone understood what you're saying. You spoke too fast. So anyway, I've come a long way since then. I still remember that training call. I was doing the business part-time in the back seat of my Toyota 4Runner in the middle of a basketball game, and I was doing that call. But number one, network marketing allows us to fulfill our unlimited potential. Number two, network marketing allows us to give back more to the world. So, and I'm going to talk about it. Shawn's going to ask me what the qualities of top earners are. And a lot of it's a bigger purpose. Network marketing allows us to give back more. And number three, network marketing allows us to be better parents. I think for me, it's very, very important. I have 3 boys. And even if you don't have kids, allows us to create a legacy, because you're going to take what you learn in this business. A lot of it's your mindset, your approach, communication skills. That things are going to change, not just your business, but your personal life, your family life. And I think that's one of the things I really love about network marketing. So anyway, I just want to share that. I can go on and on. One thing I do want to share is, there's no whining in MLM, right? So I just want to no whining. You can make money.
I love it.
Excuses, but no whining. Anyway, Shawn, go ahead. That's a little bit about me. I could talk on and on. I'm super passionate. Again, thank you for having me on.
I love it. And we're very appreciative of what you're doing for the industry and highlighting people across the board, regardless, which companies that they're with. But tell me, you ask people a lot what their favorite success quote is and some books. So, what would you say is that success quote for you that drives you?
You're starting out with the hard ones already. Okay. So the success book, the favorite book, number one, I thought about this, is the Bible. All right, because whether you're a believer or you're not a believer, you can see all the new personal development out there. It all comes from the Bible, which is, written, 2,000, 3,000 years ago. It is timeless wisdom. And for me, I read Proverbs every day, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes. Now, there's a lot of newer books that are written like more memorable way. But for me, I believe my spiritual walk with God is most important. If that doesn't happen, everything else, family, business, all crumbles. So for me, that is my favorite book. I've gone back to it over and over again as part of my morning routine. Now, I'm not like a huge, reading for hours, just 5-10 minutes a day. That's my favorite book. Now, my favorite quote, there isn't one, but I'll give you 2. These 2 really fuel and drive me. The first one is, and this is a good one, is number 1 is the temptation to quit is greatest when success is right around the corner. Okay? The temptation to quit is greatest when success is right around the corner. And that's why most people are not successful, because they quit. When it's really hard, they quit. But know that if you can persist and keep going, you achieve the success. And by the way, if some of you, I'm very no BS. If any of you have never been, how many of you actually never wanted to quit? Any of you never wanted to quit? If you've never wanted to quit, and I don't know, Shawn, can we see the chat message? Because I like to talk to people. Is there a way you can see chat where it pops up? How many of you have never wanted to quit before? Just type in a yes, right? If you've never wanted to quit, I'll tell you one thing. You have not worked hard enough. Okay, you're nowhere close to success. You know how many times I wanted to quit? I bet you how many times Shawn wanted to quit, Michelle wanted to quit. But it's when you keep going, that's when you have the success, okay? And I'm seriously, when this business sucks, it's terrible, it's miserable, it's stressing you out, you're getting overwhelmed, congratulations. Maybe some of you feel this way right now, okay? If you feel that way, congratulations, because that means you are closer to success. So I don't, Shawn, I just started seeing someone else's screen here. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm going to, Irene, if you can stop sharing your, there we go. We should be back on you.
All right. So, hold on, let me exit a few. There we go. So if you haven't attempted to quit, you haven't pushed yourself hard enough. You got to really go, right? And you do want to quit, just keep going. And it's just something that motivates you. Most people would quit, but because you don't quit, that's why you're going to be successful. Which leads to my second quote. This is from, by the way, the first one is from an ancient Chinese proverb. The temptation to quit is greatest when success is right around the corner. And I can share everything from my time I went to Malaysia. I was going to give up that market because our company could not get a DSA license, a direct selling license there. I spent like a year there. I was about to forget it. This is not worth it. I'm going to pack my bags and go home. I really just going to think, I'm going to forget this. First time in my life, I'm going to quit. Just when I thought about quitting, the company finally got a license, and that was my big break. I hit basically full-time income. Same thing out in MLM Nation. There was a time, you probably all know about MLM Nation. There was a time 3-4 years ago, things were not going so well for us. I was basically the only thing that was paying my bills was my MLM residual income. Starting a coaching company was way, way harder. I was thinking about, this isn't worth it. Let me just go back. But boom, and then the podcast came up, and then everything was. So the temptation to quit is greatest when success is right around the corner. My second favorite quote is, this comes from the former Houston Rockets. And by the way, anyone out in Houston, I hope you all are doing well from the storm. Okay, I hope you guys are okay. But this is a former Houston Rockets, Rudy Tomjanovich. This is after the Rockets were down 3-1, and they came back in the playoffs to repeat as champions. No one thought they can do it. And when they won the championship, they asked, do you have anything to say? And he said one thing: never, never, never underestimate the heart of a champion. And you, every one of you are all champions. Don't let the haters say, no, you can't do it. Don't anyone say you can't. Whether the company has issues, what back order, whatever, don't let anyone underestimate your heart. Because if you are a champion, you will outlast them. And that's something that every time, like, there's people like say, Simon, you can't do it. They have doubters, or things are looking good for me. Or I just, hey, I'm a champion. You just underestimated me. I'll just outwork you. I'll do the little 1%. I'll work a little bit more. Never underestimate the heart of a champion.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. And, you know, it applies in all aspects of your life, not just what you're building here. And, you know, we are often so close to success. And if we would take that next step, you know, we might be right there, but we'll never get there if we don't take that next step. So I love those two ideas. Talk to us. You did mention briefly there you were able to keep going because you had generated residual income into your life. For those of the newer people on the call, or those that haven't hit it yet, what would you say is the big difference when you can start to push the boulder up the hill far enough where you start to see residual happening, and it's making that shift from trading time for money to that residual income?
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. You know, I used to work at the NBA, right? The NBA, I did a lot of stuff with Yao Ming. I don't know if you even follow basketball, NBA in China. I did a lot of stuff for them. Now, I loved that job. I didn't pay me well, but I loved it. I was passionate. I had fulfillment. My purpose at that time was like, hey, I want to spread basketball. I believe basketball is more fun than soccer, and it should overtake soccer. It's the number one sport in the world. That was my passion that drove me. But, you know, once I stopped, no one remembers me now. You know, no one remembers, like, most of my friends and colleagues, I go back, they no longer work there. It's been 13 years. No one works there anymore. NBA China doesn't know who the heck Simon Chan is. You know, the NBA is raking in, you know, hundreds of millions from apparel sales, of jersey sales, or LeBron James. I don't make a penny from it. I had a good time at the NBA, but what else do I have to show for it? Aside from what you could put on the resume and some memories, nothing. I'll give you an example of what residual income is, right? It's not, and I always talk about not when you have kids. Some of you have kids, you know, there's no such thing. I always talk about, you have time freedom. I was like, there's no such thing as time freedom. Once you have kids, maybe before you have kids, once you have kids, you have no time freedom, okay? There's no time. It's a total myth and BS. It was, my baby's waking up from the nap. Like today, I was tired. I want to take a 30-minute nap. It was a 7-minute nap because he was awake. He needed his milk, my 18-month-old. So there's no time freedom, but you do get time flexibility. And I'll share with you about, like, 10 days ago, I woke up at 3 a.m. to go running in Vancouver. And to catch, I woke up my son at 4:15 a.m. We left at 4:30 to catch a 5:30 a.m. bus. The bus wasn't to go to work. The bus was to take a one-day trip from Vancouver to Seattle to catch it. And we got into Seattle like 9:20 a.m. We went to local deli, got a breakfast, and at 10:30 a.m., all the other dads were at cubicles, whatever. Were the few young people there, because most of the people there were kids or grandkids or grandfathers taking their son to a 12:40 p.m. afternoon baseball game. Okay, my son is huge into baseball right now. We went to Vancouver, Seattle. It was his first major league game. We watched the Mariners beat the Orioles 7-6. Afterwards, we went to a computer museum, grabbed some pizza, took an Amtrak home. We saw the beautiful Pacific Northwest, came home. At 12, and the train was delayed a little bit. My son took a nap, and then we had an iPad, a great app, MLB at bat. We watched some more baseball, talk, hung out. We looked at the box score, teaching what really happened, the strategy. And then, when my wife picked us up at Vancouver at 12:20, he's like, you woke up, you got on a 5:30 a.m. bus and got home at 12:20 a.m., spent hundreds of dollars. Was it worth it? I was like, honey, that was one of the best days of my life. And Folks, that is residual income. We decided 2 days before that, hey, you know what? I want to take on the baseball game. We're on a trip, and Seattle's playing in the afternoon game. So, he's only 6 years old. Afternoon game, the evening game ends too late, and let's just take a train. Yeah. Within less than 48 hours notice, we decided to do that. And we did it, and we came back. Memories. That is what this business of residual income. I have not done a thing. Okay, I know recently the company launched some new product. I don't even know anything going on. I have all my leaders managing. I don't do a thing. At most, I spend maybe 3-5 minutes a month just making sure they deposit the checks. But since 2004, I've gotten a check like every week from a company. And that is whether I work or don't work. And I actually refuse. I don't want to work unless they're coaching clients now. I have so many leaders there. That's residual income. And that income is more than my basketball income, double what it is. So that is residual income. Allows you the time freedom to do things like, just creating memories. Especially, I think when you have kids, is even more. For me, it's not really showing, not about buying the fancy cars, whatever. I'm not into that type of stuff. It's creating memories, because I still remember when my grandmother, my father, you have to understand, my father made good money. Okay, I was not like a typical rags to riches. I was born in kind of like a silver spoon in my mouth. Not many people know this. My dad was rags to riches. He was born in Hong Kong, poor, came to the U.S. to be a doctor, and got the American dream. When I was growing up, we lived in a big house in New York. Even though I lived in Brooklyn, okay, I said I was from the hood. I actually not from the hood. I lived in the richest part in Brooklyn. We grew up with 3 Mercedes. Okay, I never even drove a Japanese car. 3 Mercedes. We have a Mercedes 560, 500, 300 with the turbo diesel so loud. All cars, fancy cars. I never had a job. I never needed to work. As long as I got good grades, my parents, even in high school, gave me $30. A lot of money at that time, $30 to buy. I was like a spoiled rich kid. Okay, but you know what? I wasn't happy because all I wanted to do was go to the New York Yankees game. My dad, he was very successful, and God bless him. I love him very much. But both my parents are very successful. My dad is a successful, he was a surgeon, medical practice. 5 days a week, he was at practice, he was at the hospital, nursing home, and a weekend he would make his rounds at a clinic. Like, he never had time for us. And so I still remember my first baseball game I went was my grandmother took me. I remember what burger I ate to go to the game. And we actually stuck in 2 extra burgers because my grandmother didn't have much money. She didn't want to pay for hot dogs. So we snuck in burgers. I still remember everything, who pitched. But as a kid, so money's not it's the time of your loved ones. And for me, and maybe some of you doesn't make sense if you didn't have money. I grew up with money, but I didn't remember any of it. I remember the moments I had with my loved one or my grandparents. I spent a lot of time with them. So for me to do that and what this business has done, before joining network marketing, I was basically going down the same path as my father. Work. No, just active income. See, my dad, he couldn't stop because when he stopped operating, no money. In this business you build, you still continue to get paid. In the beginning, it may just be very little. Right. I'm only earning $5 from this person for an order. How am I going to? Don't worry. You keep going. Yeah. You're going to hit a critical point where it takes off. And so that is really the definition. I mean, when you ask me that, Shawn, it's just to share the story. This only happened 10 days ago, to do stuff. And, also I took my kids to hiking where we went. Now, I'm a city boy. I didn't grow in the South Dakota. I never crossed a city stream, a little brook. For me to cross in a cold roller stream with my kids, that was one of my lifetime dreams, to do that on a weekday when everyone else is working. That is what residual income is. And we always do stuff in the weekdays because you beat the crowd.
Yeah. I love it. And that's absolutely it. And I don't want anybody to think that, it doesn't take work and effort and time to get to that point, because it does. Everything that's worthwhile in life, it takes energy and effort, and you have to sacrifice. And that's sometimes what people don't see behind the scenes once people get to a certain level, is the sacrifice and what happened up front before it hit it. It is not overnight success. It never is. And it's all of the activity and the action that led up to it that allows you that freedom and flexibility down the road. So you have that choice, are you going to put in the effort or aren't you?
And I want to add something. I want to really add something to that. You know, like if you're going to look at me as a leader, I'm the worst person to follow because I make good income. I do nothing. I literally do nothing. I'm the laziest person. I don't do anything with my MLM business. I don't want to touch it. I don't do anything. I get paid 6 figures. But there was a time for like 8-9 years, I worked my butt off. It was my life. That's basically 24/7. That is all I did. And here's something I think what trips up. If you're new, you really got to pay attention. Even if you're on the second year, third year, and you're stuck, you have to understand when you are in a great company like Lifevantage, you're an entrepreneur. You're a business owner. Right, and you will get underpaid. See, people ask, what's the difference between a job and a business? This is the best way to explain it. An employee gets overpaid in the beginning. Okay, so think about it. But overpaid in the beginning, but underpaid for the rest of your life. So think about this. When on your first day of the job, right, do you know anything about what you're doing at your work? No, you probably don't. And even the first week, you're training. Do you give any value to the company? I'm sorry, zero. You're spending company to pay for your benefits, give you salary. You're not doing anything to make the company money. You are overpaid. But once you hit it, you're going to be underpaid for the rest of your life. Yep. You stop working. Like I made the MBA hundreds of millions, probably residual billions in China. I don't get paid. I'm underpaid for the rest of my life. But when you're the entrepreneur, like in Lifevantage, now it's the opposite. You're underpaid in the beginning. And I admit, you start out, you're underpaid. You're not making as much money. You may be working 10 hours. You may be in the business for 1 year, sponsored 2 distributors. Oh, I made $50, $200, $1,000. It's like slavery. You're getting paid zero, very little. But there will be a day, as you keep going, you'll be overpaid. You'll be like me. You're not doing anything. Just ka-ching, ching, ching, ka-ching, the money coming in. And that's why you want to be an entrepreneur. That's why, because you're going to be underpaid in the beginning, but you're going to be overpaid for the rest of your life. And, some people say that one time someone said, oh, but network marketing is so hard. I think, yippee, you want it hard. You want it because you're going to grow. Don't worry about hard. You'll be able to do it. You want it hard because most people are not going to do the work. So that's why you make a lot of money. See, sometimes I wish it was easier. Right. You don't want it to be easier because you know what's easy? Welfare is easy. How much does welfare pay? It pays really good, right? Welfare is easy. You want easy stuff? Pumping gas at a gas station, that's easy. You want to get an easy job? Do you know what happens to those people? What income they make? You want network marketing is hard for you? Great, because you can get even paid more. But just remember, you'd be underpaid. You'd be underpaid in the beginning. I was underpaid for 2.5 years. I was working my butt off. I got like maybe at most I was making 50. I think the best year was 60-something thousand a year. Underpaid for the amount of time I worked. But now I'm overpaid. I don't do anything. I get paid a multiple six-figure income, right? So underpaid at the beginning, but overpaid the rest of the month. Never, never, never forget that.
Yeah, and that was absolutely one of the best advice I got from one of my leaders here in Lifevantage, Stu Brody. He told me that. He said, it's going to seem like you're drastically underpaid at the beginning, but if you work it long enough and hard enough and do the right things, follow the system, there's a tipping point that happens that you'll be so drastically overpaid it's not even funny. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. And that always stuck in the back of my head. And I want people to really understand that what you were saying was after an 8 or 9 year period of hitting it hard, it gave you the freedom to choose how much you work your business, right? After 8 or 9 years. And we have people coming in and after 6 months, they want to walk away. Okay. If you really, really want it, if you want to change your life, put in the effort, the energy, follow the system, right? Because that's when you're going to have the success. So can you give us maybe 1 or 2 common threads that you've seen among successful leaders across the industry?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a couple. Okay. So people I've talked to, and I'm going to talk about like the 7-figure earners. The people are making, I always say, over $500,000 to 7-figure earners. Number one is they have a big vision. Okay. They have a big vision. They don't just see that I'm going to make a lot of money to pay the bills. I'm going to make a lot of money to get out of debt. It's way bigger than that because that's not very inspiring. I just want to make a lot of money to buy a new car. It can motivate short term, but then a big vision about impacting the world. I'm going to talk about like making enough money so I can start an orphanage for kids in Indonesia, for example. I want to make enough money so I can donate 10% of my earnings to give clean water out in Africa. Big vision. I'm talking about big vision. Not like tiny big vision. Big vision. We can all make an impact. Big vision. Right? That big vision. And network marketing is a vehicle to allow them to achieve that vision. That's number one. They just think, oh, I'm going to pay off some debts. I hope this is going to work out. That's number two. Then I'm like, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to hope it's going to work out. You know what? If you're going to give it a try, it's not going to work out. You might as well quit. Instead, top leaders, they visualize themselves as a success already. They see themselves as big-time leaders. Okay? They see themselves. So what do I mean by that? So even when I was first starting out, there was a time when I was making $100 a week. I saw myself as making $6,000 a week. I was visualizing when I'm on stage, who am I going to thank? Which are the leaders on my right leg? I'm going to thank them, give recognition. When on my left, and I like to do little gifts for my leaders. Who are the leaders I'm going to recognize on stage, say their names, give a little gift for them. I start visualizing myself as that leader. I didn't see I'm hoping I'm going to make it. You got to be that leader. Think I'm that leader already. You got to see yourself one of the best. To visualize, and that's like true in not just in network marketing, in all aspects in life, in sports, right? If you look at the fight last night, I mean, I didn't watch the fight, but it was a big fight like McGregor and Mayweather. McGregor didn't say like, I hope I'm going to be a boxer. He's not even a boxer. He just visualized, I'm going to be there and fight the best. Came out of nowhere. You gotta be before you become. Start seeing yourself as the leader, and all of a sudden you can start acting like that person. See, what happens is because this business is gonna beat you down. This business is gonna beat you down when 5 people said no to you, and you still gotta make a phone call. You know what I would do? 5 people said no to me. I'll be like, I'm a leader. I'm a leader like Shawn Poe. Shawn Poe. What would Shawn Poe do if you get 5 rejections? She'll make a next call. So I am like Shawn Poe. Let me go make another phone call. I don't feel like going out there tonight. The storm just happened. I got to go out there and meet another person in a coffee shop. I'm tired. I'd rather just relax and watch some preseason football. But what was Shawn? I'm like a leader, like Shawn Paul. What was Shawn Paul? Shawn will go out there and meet that person. All right, let me just go do that. I did that. You got to visualize and be that leader. Start acting like the leader. Start acting like what Shawn and Michelle do. And before you know it, you're going to get the results. You got to visualize and see yourself as the leader. Number 3. Successes, and this happens at events. We talk about the importance of going to events. You see a person like Shawn and Michelle. Wow, they're so good. It could be 2 types of distributors. They're all like sitting there. They're all screwed up. Okay, you can say, I'm screwed up. They may have bad marriages. They may be in debt, credit card debt. They have no money. They're all both screwed up. One person's like, well, Shawn and Michelle, but look at them. This person starts seeing differences. Oh, but I live in a crappy neighborhood. Shawn and Michelle, they're so pretty. Michelle's so pretty. They're so good looking. They live in South Dakota. It's cheaper to live there. I live in California. It's so expensive. I have more bills. They start seeing differences, and they talk themselves out of being successful. While a different person, that person may be all screwed up, but see, wow, if Shawn and Michelle can do it, I can do it. If they can do that, I can do it. If they can learn, I can learn. I can do that. That's the difference between successful and not successful. Never, never, never say, I'm different. My situation. But you don't understand me. My family, if you say that, I'm different, you lost already. Successful people, they say, hey, if that person can do it, they'll find some type of similarity. They'll be like, oh, Shawn and Michelle married? Hey, I'm married too. If they can do it, I can do it. They're young like that, I can do that. You start seeing similarities. So any top earner, with Stu Brody, or like a Rachel Jackson, or Karen Krendicki, you see them, don't look at differences, look for similarities. How are you similar? If they can do it, you can do it. And don't ever say your situation is different, or you have more problems, because everyone has problems. But they can do it, you can do it. Number 4, top earners, they think long-term. Okay, they think long-term. They don't think, oh, this is like a 6-month game, a 6-week game. Let me try it out, talk to, that's a hobby. They think long-term. I'll give you a best example of a long-term. This is a person that it's earning $200,000 a month, $200,000 US a month in network marketing. He was on a tour of like 17 cities in 23 days in the US, building his business. It's no joke. 17 cities in 23 days, 1-day meeting, fly out, 1-day meeting, fly out. Last day before he flew back, he's flying back to Australia. He came from Montana, flew back to LA. He had like 2 hours of free time. He still met with me for 90 minutes at his hotel. He came straight from the flight. He didn't even check in to the hotel. He actually just checked in, dropped his bag, went down to the lounge bar, and met with me for 90 minutes. Now, he knows Simon Chan is in doing MLM Nation. I have zero interest doing any MLM. zero interest. But he doesn't think, oh, Simon's not interested in joining, I don't meet him. He's thinking maybe 15 years from now, Simon may join. Or Simon may know someone that joins. Or maybe 15 years from now, Simon's son wants to do a network marketing company. He may think of me. They're thinking super long term. Most distributors think, oh, you're not interested, you're no good. No. Successful people, they build relationships. They think long, not just days or months, years, decades down the road. Two more things. Successful people, they're very anal about the time. They schedule and plan out their days. They're not like, what's going to happen tomorrow? Well, Monday tomorrow, what I'm going to do? Let's see who I'm going to call. No, they know who they're going to call. Shawn knows who they're going to follow up with. Who is he presenting with? He has it probably down for the week. Actually, on Sunday night, you should plan out your week. Every single person you're going to call and you're going to follow up. If you don't have anyone to call and follow up, they have plans that I'm going to go somewhere to meet people. Maybe I want to go to this Facebook group, find 10 people. I'm going to go to a bookstore, meet 5 people. Go to this mall, they have a plan. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Write that down. If you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. All top earners, they have a routine. They're planning things out. The last thing is top earners, these are for the 7-figure earners, they all have a coach. Okay, they have a coach. They either hired a coach or someone that's not directly related to them on upline, downline, just to take things to the next level. Because sometimes they outgrow their uplines, outgrow their mentors. They hire a coach, do something. Or something. It could be someone that is in their same company, but cross-line. Like a leader, and most of the time they pay. You can pay or not pay. Like I know one of my friends, he was in a crossline leader. He wanted to be mentored. The mentor said, "I'm not training you for free unless you come out here. Come to my." He tells them, "Come out to every Saturday morning. Come to my house at 10:30 a.m. for 1 hour." Yeah, he said, "Cool." Except the problem is he lived 5 hours away. But every Saturday morning, he woke up at 4 a.m., left his house at 4:30, drove the 5 hours, and got to his house by 10:30 a.m. for 1 hour, and he drive 5 hours back. You got to learn from the best. So anyway, Shawn, that's a little bit of main things of top 7 earners and how they're different.
I love it. I love it. And that's really the thing is we don't want to have to reinvent the wheel. We don't want to have to do things that nobody else has done because we already have people that have proven what works and the path that you can take to have the same success that they had. So, that formula to success is shown over and over and over again. You just have to put it to work for you. So I know we've gone a little bit over on time. The last thing, if you could touch on real quick for everybody, Simon, is the importance of events. How have you seen that across the industry to help build belief in a person?
Yeah, I want to add one more thing too. I'm talk about because you mentioned coachability. Someone actually, one of my insider members, coaching members, asked me this question. Was that how did she actually? This is a potential coaching client. It was a referral. She asked me, how do you know if network marketing is for you or not? I was like, what do you mean? How do you know if network marketing is for me? And I was like, hey, you lost already. That's not the question to ask. The question is, what do I need to change to make network marketing work for me? Network marketing was not for me, a shy, quiet Asian kid who speaks fast with a lisp Chinese accent, who lived in LA. Most of my contacts were in New York, but I made it work. I became that person. Remember? The leaders see themselves as big-time leaders. They be. So don't ever ask, oh, but I don't like the system, Shawn, but because it's not for me. Who cares? We're not talking about. Who cares if it's not meant for you? Make it happen. Change. Make it happen for you. If you're waiting for network marketing to work for you, you lost already. Instead, and that's the cool thing. Like I said, we're born with unlimited potential. Remember the first thing I said? We can all change, do amazing things as long as you're coachable, willing to change, listen to your uplines, and apply what they teach you. So
I love it.
About events, events, it's like I sound like a broken record, talk about this a million times on the show. It's so important. One of my first things my mentor did back in 2004, I was not into going to events. We built our team. We're kind of all scattered through you guys. We did it through teleconferences. But he said one day, Simon, you better show up to the San Diego event. I was like, why? He said, I don't want to go. You don't need to. That time I was making $200 a week, $200 a week. He said, Simon, if you don't go, I'm never going to talk to you again. I was like, man, that's mean, harsh. I'm never going to talk to you. You better go. He was serious. So, believe it or not, that night I broke up with my girlfriend. I slept only 90 minutes the night before. And I had 2 downlines because my upline made me go. I was the only thing that, saved me. I was coachable. I got 2 of my downlines to go. So I picked them up. One came out to Torrance, one other picked in Southern California to drive down to San Diego. I slept 90 minutes, spent 2 hours driving, got there. And after that event, I made my first $1,000 a week check. Now, at that event, I do admit, for the first day, I spent 70% of it in the parking lot sleeping because I was still mentally all messed up from the breakup from my girlfriend, sleep deprived. But going out, hanging out at night, I met some people that are amazing that totally changed my life, the belief builder. I would say 95% of people, including Shawn, who I've interviewed on MLM Nation, you asked about their breaking point, turning point, that why they became successful is because they went to some event. Because big decisions are made at big events. And the bigger the event, the more you have to go. Okay? When I was building, especially your company conference, your company annual convention, if you don't go, I don't work, don't ever call me again. I'm not going to talk and work with you. Because you're not going to make money. You're not going to be successful. The reality is, Shawn, someone who doesn't go to convention, they're never going to make more than I'm not even talking about millions. They're not going to make more than $300 a week, like $2,000 a month. They're never. So if you're never going to do that, you're wasting your time. You're wasting my time. You might as well quit. And then later on, I even filtered out. When I sign up someone, you better make a commitment to go. Otherwise, I won't even sign you up. I'll give it to someone else to sign up. I don't want to waste time with those people. But you have to go to events because the events is when you see this business is all about belief, seeing real people make money, not some stock footage videos, real people. Shawn and Michelle, I met them, they're real people. I mean, I try to punch him, he'll flinch. He's real, he's human. You pinch him, he'll hurt. They're real. These are real people just like you. We eat, we sleep, we go to the bathroom. They're making it happen. And you really learn so much at the event. So big decisions to make a big event. You have to attend events. And the more events, and even as a leader, you're driving, you got to get your team to go to events. If you're going to your first event, you have 1 downline, don't just go by yourself, go with your team member. You got to get people to events.
I love it. And I really want to have people recognize that, Simon has taken time away from his family, other things that he could be doing to just give us a brief, viewprint from somebody else that is outside of Lifevantage. And, we've gotten to know him, like I said, over the last couple of years. We truly appreciate your willingness to just help the industry, put us a little further ahead on the roadmap, and, shine a light and be truthful with people, right? Tell people. And the reality is this can be as great as you want it to be, as you want it to be. Those choices are completely up to you. And I want to let you know, I got a few texts in just saying how wonderful listening to you has been. One person just put in, every word is gold. Can't wait to listen again with the playback. So Simon, we truly appreciate you. From Michelle and I want to thank you for being on tonight. We appreciate you a lot.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor. For those who are out there, you love this profession, go check out MLMNation.com. Especially, we got a new cool video coming up there. You can follow me on Facebook. Actually, the video is coming out on tomorrow, Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. No one's ever seen it. It's only 2 minutes long. You can go check it out. But go to follow me on Facebook, MLM Nation, or Simon J. And definitely, you got to check out Shawn and Michelle's podcast. So they were awesome. So thank you, guys, Shawn and Michelle. God bless you all. And remember, we're in the profession to help others. So go out there and have a positive impact on someone's life today. God bless you all. Good night.
I love it. Thanks, Simon. Have a great night. Tell your family thank you.